So, welcome back, or just plain welcome if you're new, to my 8th reflection video out of my 30-day or 30 video reflection challenge. The details are in the description or whatnot if you want to know the rules. I'm going to just get into this topic because I'm passionate about this topic, and you could just read the details of how to participate in the challenge and why I'm doing this and whatnot on your own time. So, we're going to talk about spirituality and faith. I'm going to talk about the major points in my life when it comes to spirituality and faith, what I've learned in my 25 years almost, birthday's coming up, of learning, knowledge, walking this earth, talking to people, absorbing information. And, it's touchy, and I know the years moving forward as I age will be different than not so long ago, me being a teenager and me being, a child, and the experience is not so far away, but soon it will be, and it'll probably all feel different. But let's get to it, right? I grew up in a Christian home, Christian household. Had Christian music play in my, in the car rides at home, whether it was Sunday or not. Christian TV shows, movies, things like that in my house and my family. And I had a good time. I don't want it to ever sound like when I talk about this at any point in time on any video, because I'm never going to not talk about this because it's a part of my life. But I don't ever want it to sound like I have a hate towards Christians. I have a hate towards people who practice any religion or any spirituality of any kind, because it's not like that. I had a phase. And honestly, anybody who goes on a spiritual journey of any kind, these are phases that you go through where you have this weird, disgust of religion, and if you grew up in a religion, you don't know how to process it, and whatever you did process, when you look back on it, you don't like it, and you have a hatred somewhat of religion, right? And for me, the thing that, before I get into that, I participated in the choir, right, in church. We did Bible studies. We did plays. We went on trips. We did things. I did everything that you would do if you go to a church for years and years, right? My family member is well attached to the church that we grew up in, which is now closed. My grandmother played the bass. My aunt played the drums. Other family members played different instruments. Music, spirituality as far as Christianity goes is in my family. It's in me. And, some people might hate it, but the truth is, when you're raised on something, when it's tradition, when it's family, when you spend so many years or so much time doing something, it's in you. You can't get rid of it. You can hate it all you want, but it's in you. And this is the thing when we walk around and we like to try to talk against certain things and hate certain things and feel a certain way about certain things, but that's you, and it made you also today, whether you like it or not. But it's always fun when you meet people or you talk with friends or family or anybody about the annoying times of church and the funny church activities. People loving it on TikTok and Instagram. People making so many memes about church and pastors and music and all, and it's funny. But it's childhood. It's nostalgic at the same time. But what I want to say here, besides the events, is the acceptance and the growth and the internalizing and the expression of the spirituality, right? For me, it's like, I grew up on it, like I said. And the thing that turned me off was the fact that we had a lot of struggles. We had a lot of family problems. I saw a lot of hypocrisy in the church. Who didn't? Who doesn't? This is widely documented. This is widely known that people do this, right? And I didn't like it, even at a young age. When I was like 10 and 11 or whatnot, I could already see a lot of BS, right? I could already sense it. I could tell a lot of things were fake. A lot of people's attitudes, behavior were fake. I just knew it. So how the hell, I'm going to say it, how the hell am I supposed to believe in anything anybody ever said if y'all can't execute what y'all talking about? If I don't see the results of what the faith that you speak of. the hope that you speak of, right? How am I supposed to believe any of that when you don't even have what you claim you want? When I see good people who are Christian or not, work so hard, have so much faith, so much passion, but don't have nothing, or don't have as much as they probably should, while others do, right? It's hard, it's disheartening, it's discouraging, it shakes and breaks your faith. For me, it modified it, and it broke it for a little bit. It shook it a lot, but it just modified it. So, first time, due to the struggle, due to the pain, due to the hypocrisy, due to life, faith wasn't there. Now, obviously, because you're young, your faith's not that strong in the beginning because you don't even know what you really believe in, technically. You only know what you're taught. You only know what people gave you. So obviously, it's going to waver and shake. It's not strong. There's no foundation because you only know what people taught you. But when it comes to test, it's going to fail anyway because you genuinely don't believe it. Now, I'm going to move up to, middle school years, 10, 11, 12 years old, which is when I found things out, right? I started realizing stuff. I started to hate it. I didn't believe it. I didn't believe anything what anybody was saying. Barely understood it as far as biblical stuff go, but like as far as the behavior and the discipline and what it's supposed to look like and what it's supposed to be, it wasn't there. Hated it. I could say that. Sucks to say it, but it is what it is. Tried not to go to church many times. Got talked into going. Had no choice but to go. And even the times when I was vocal and saying, I don't want to go. I don't want to do this. I don't like it, blah, blah, blah. You get made to go. And you don't get anything out of being there. But other people claim that, forcing you to do stuff, so they make you think you're getting something out of it. They want to force you to do it because that's the way you get blessed. That's the way you get saved. That's the way you live a good life, by giving your time to the church, by giving your money to the church, by doing these. And don't get me wrong. There are benefits to all these things, to doing all those things. But when it's not for you, it's not for you. And I say this because I believe, somebody might say I'm wrong, but I believe that God, right? If you want to say God, some of y'all don't believe in God, you don't like to say God, Yahweh. Yahweh, right? You want to say God, you want to say Allah, you want to say any other name, the Most High, Yahushua, all these things. Say whatever you want. But I believe the universe took me out of the church and sent me on a spiritual path of my own to save myself. I had to learn how to be myself because the biggest problem, regardless of me going to church or not, regardless of me being forced to go or not, whether I enjoyed it or not, had to do with my problems personally, internally. I had to solve those things. And I knew, but I didn't know it was in the big picture. I didn't notice, but I knew it wasn't enough. I wasn't helping. It wasn't doing anything for me because I had things going on inside of me as a child, disrupting my life, my school life, my social life, after school, my neighbors, just the way I interact with people. It was something going on inside of me that wasn't being fixed by Christianity, wasn't being fixed by church, wasn't no prayer fixing anything. It wasn't. It was something bigger than that. So I believe when I got to high school and I started to feel even worse, and there's times where I went to church, there's times where I felt like, yeah, you know what, I need to go to church. I feel like I want to go to church today. And I went. I did, and I had a good time. There's a time where I went, and I didn't even know that my brother was going, and my aunt was going, and then we all just ran into each other, and it was a fun day. And I miss seeing the same churchgoers, the pastor, the reverend, the piano player, the ushers, the same people that I knew since I was a child. And they happy to see me, and I'm happy to see them. It's beautiful. It is. And I get what I need to get. But there's many times where I felt like, and I know, today, that I wasn't supposed to be in the church. The church wasn't it for me. That's not what saved me. That's not what kept me on church. That's not what made me a better person. It's not. Okay? And I say that because when I went on my journey, starting to study other religions, starting to study other spiritualities, more abstract things, abstract thinking, deeper meaning, right? I came to several answers that I know people in my family wouldn't even think about, friends wouldn't think about, other kids my age wasn't thinking about. I just had to get there, because if I didn't get there, I felt like I was going to lose my mind, or I was going to lose myself. I had to find a way to give myself one purpose, but more faith, a reason to be around, a reason to study, see blessings, see myself. Because one thing about it is, besides your praise and your worship of God, the Most High, or whoever it is that you worship, right? Besides your praise, there are things you have to do for yourself, inside of yourself, to receive. We all know this, right? To receive blessings, you have to be in a certain position. You have to have a certain mindset. You have to have a certain amount of time on your hands. You got to have a certain heart, right? Certain emotions. You got to have available. You got to have the gift. You got to be willing and able to do certain things. But I know many times, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, I wasn't right. As much as I wanted to do certain things in school, at home, whatever, anywhere, I just couldn't do it because I was locked so many times, so many different ways. Long list I could go on, but I'm not. Right? Many things blocking me. But at that time, when I was in high school, if I didn't find meditation, if I didn't find Buddhism, if I didn't find yoga, if I wasn't studying parts of Islam, parts of Judaism, going back to ancient religions, yin-yang philosophies, Taoism, right? Things like that. Looking back on Greek, Roman mythology, Egyptian mythology, all these different spiritual beliefs, right? If I didn't study some of these things, I don't know where I would be today. And I have to say that. So, but as time goes on, right? Even some of those things that I believed then, they helped me during that chapter of my life. But as I'm now out of high school and well into my 20s, some of the things that I believed in then don't carry till now. They can't be applied now. I realize now, because I have more knowledge, that some of those things were faulty. Some of those things didn't even make sense. Some of those things are not even proper, right? Wasn't even organized right. They only worked for me because I needed them to work for me. But the thing is, people have spirituality, they have beliefs, they have faith in many things, but people don't get to a point where they start to realize how wrong they are. What they should have said differently, done differently, that the beliefs are wrong, where they got the beliefs from are wrong. They don't ever want to admit that they're wrong, because their faith in whatever blinds them to believe that they're right. There's many times I was wrong. There's probably times right now where I'm wrong right now, but I'm not going to see it till later. There's times where I'm going to see I'm wrong right now, and I know I'm wrong, and I got to fix it. There's things that I'm having a hard time fixing right now as we speak. But spiritually, I know I'm in the right place. I know my heart's in the right place. I don't lie without a reason to lie for my own safety, out of someone else's safety or something like that. Do my best not to do that. I don't cheat, right? I don't manipulate. I don't do any of that stuff. And you shouldn't either. And if you know you're doing that, stop it. And if you know somebody who is doing it, try to stop them. Get out of it. Get away from it, right? Because spiritually, at the end of the day, and I walk this, and I can say this with absolute confidence. I say this to people every day. When I work with the kids that I work with over these years, I say it to them every day. As a matter of fact, I had one neighbor that asked me one day, he's like, you walk around like you ain't scared of nothing. You walk around like, you just walk like he was Muslim. So he's like, you just walk like Allah got his hand over you and stuff like that. And I was like, well, I guess you could say that, because I don't do anything to anybody. I know I don't. I'm out my fucking business. I'm not out here, sorry to curse, but on a spiritual positive video, but I'm on my business, right? I don't get into nothing I know I shouldn't be in. I don't gossip. I don't mind other people's business. I don't get in between stuff that's not for me. I get away from it. When I feel like something don't serve me, I get away from it. I try not to let anger and any other emotions that aren't the best build up in me. I try to get rid of it, right? And when I feel like I'm doing something wrong somewhere, I take myself out of it too, until I get it right. And spiritually, that's what I believe deep down. Spiritually, I know if I walk these streets and something happened to me, it's not my fault. I don't plan on doing anything to anyone at any time for anybody to have anything coming to me, right? To want to do anything to me. So if something happens to me, that's because of them, right? And you got to be so, centered with yourself that you got to know this, regardless of what you believe. It's all up to you. It's all up to what you know on the inside. You can study all you want, read all you want, lecture all you want, lecture people and listen to lectures all you want, travel, talk to strangers, read different doctrines, go on YouTube, look at stuff on social media, go to the library. I did it all, and I'm going to keep doing it. But you can do all the discovery you want, but at the end of the day, the decisions you made and who you are internally, spiritually, need to be lined up properly. It doesn't matter what you believe. Whether you're a Christian or not, Muslim or not, Jewish or not, Buddhist or not, damn Satanist, whatever you believe, right? Just don't hurt nobody. Don't force your beliefs on anyone. Don't do stuff because somebody else told you to do it, because you feel like that's what the best thing to do is and all that, based off of what they said, what they taught you. No, you need to move how you feel like you need to move. Because then the results that you have are results of what you did, not what somebody else did. And that's it. That's it. Spirituality is a journey that you have to take with intention. Otherwise, you're not even really doing anything, right? You got to question when you're wrong. You got to question when you're right. You got to question where you should be, where you shouldn't be, what kind of decisions you need to make or you don't need to make. You got to balance it. That's real spirituality. That's real faith.